Not everyone who smiles at you is happy for you. Some people clap for you while secretly waiting for you to fall. And if you don't recognize the signs early, you'll mistake envy for friendship.
You don't wake up one day and decide to ruin your life. It happens quietly, in small thoughts, in automatic reactions, in beliefs you never consciously chose. And the most dangerous part? Most of the forces shaping your life right now don't feel like traps at all. They feel normal. Today, we're breaking down 10 psychological traps that slowly limit your potential, damage your relationships, and distort your self-image without you realizing it. And more importantly, how to escape them. Because once you see the trap clearly, it starts losing its power. Let's begin. This is the belief that happiness lives somewhere in the future. I'll feel confident when I get in shape. I'll relax when I make more money. I'll be happy when I find the right partner. Your brain is wired for goal pursuit. Dopamine spikes when you anticipate rewards, not when you achieve them. That means your mind constantly shifts the finish line forward. The result? You live in permanent emotional postponement. How to escape it? Practice arrival awareness. When you reach a goal, pause, reflect, feel it, write it down. Train your brain to register completion instead of immediately chasing the next thing. You think people notice your flaws more than they actually do. That awkward sentence, that mistake at work, that social moment that felt off. Psychology calls this the spotlight effect. Your brain overestimates how much others are thinking about you because you're the center of your own awareness. But here's the truth. Everyone else is busy thinking about themselves. How to escape it? When you catch yourself replaying something embarrassing, ask, what was I obsessing about someone else doing today? Usually, nothing. That's your answer. You stay in situations longer than you should because you've already invested time, energy, or emotion. A draining relationship, a career path you hate, a project that's clearly not working. Your brain hates loss, so it convinces you to keep investing, hoping to justify the past. But staying just because you've already stayed is how years disappear. How to escape it? Ask one question. If I wasn't already in this, would I choose it today? If the answer is no, the past investment is irrelevant. Social media amplified this one. You compare your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. Your brain uses relative judgment. It measures success, beauty, intelligence, not by absolute standards, but by comparison. And when the comparison pool is global and filtered, you lose. How to escape it? Limit passive scrolling. Replace comparison with calibration. Compare yourself only to your past self. Growth is the only fair benchmark. You assume you know what others are thinking about you. They think I'm boring. They don't respect me. They're judging me. Your brain fills in missing information to reduce uncertainty. It prefers a negative assumption over ambiguity. But mind reading is projection, not perception. How to escape it? Separate facts from stories. Fact, they didn't text back. Story, they're losing interest. Challenge the story. Perfectionism isn't high standards, it's fear in disguise. You delay starting because it won't be perfect. You avoid finishing because it's not flawless. You criticize yourself before anyone else can. Neurologically, perfectionism often links to fear of social rejection. If it's perfect, you're safe. But perfection delays growth. How to escape it? Adopt the version 1 rule. Your only job is to create version 1. Messy, imperfect, alive. Improvement comes after action, not before it. You believe something is true because it feels true. I feel like a failure, so you assume you are one. But emotions are signals, not evidence. They're shaped by sleep, stress, hormones, memory, and past experiences. They are data, not verdicts. How to escape it? When emotion spikes, add one sentence. I feel this, but feelings aren't facts. That pause creates psychological distance. Your brain prioritizes safety over growth. Novelty triggers mild stress responses. Uncertainty activates threat detection systems in the brain. So, staying where things are familiar feels right, but comfort zones shrink when not expanded. And what feels safe today can feel suffocating tomorrow. How to escape it? Practice controlled discomfort. Small risks, small exposures. Growth doesn't require chaos, just repeated expansion. You define yourself with rigid labels. I'm shy. I'm bad at math. I'm not leadership material. The brain builds consistency between identity and behavior. Once you adopt a label, your behavior subconsciously aligns with it. Identity becomes a prison. How to escape it? Shift from identity statements to behavior statements. Instead of I'm shy, say I've acted shy in some situations. Behavior can change. Identity feels permanent. Language shapes self-concept. You measure your worth through other people's reactions, likes, praise, approval, recognition. Your brain releases dopamine when you receive social validation. It feels good. It feels rewarding. But if your self-worth depends on external signals, your emotional stability depends on other people's moods, and that's a fragile foundation. How to escape it? Start tracking internal metrics instead of external ones. Did I show up? Did I try? Did I act in alignment with my values? When validation comes from within, confidence becomes stable, not conditional. Now, here's the deeper pattern. All these traps share one thing. They are automatic. They are fast. They operate beneath conscious awareness. And your brain isn't broken for falling into them. It evolved for survival, not fulfillment. It evolved to avoid risk, avoid rejection, conserve energy, and protect status. But the modern world exploits those tendencies. Social comparison is constant. Validation is quantified. Comfort is engineered. Attention is hijacked. So escaping these traps isn't about willpower. It's about awareness. Because once you see the mechanism, you create space between stimulus and response. And in that space, you get choice. You don't need to eliminate these traps completely. You just need to notice them sooner. The moment you say, wait, this might be the spotlight effect, or this feels like emotional reasoning, or I'm staying because of sunk cost, that moment is power. Self-awareness is disruptive. It interrupts autopilot. And when autopilot turns off, intentional living begins. Here's something most people don't realize. Growth isn't about adding more to your life. It's often about removing distortion, removing false beliefs, removing outdated labels, removing unconscious assumptions. Clarity is freedom. So today, don't try to fix everything. Just pick one trap that felt personal, one that quietly shapes your decisions, and start observing it without judgment. Because awareness isn't harsh, it's curious. And curiosity is how you rewire patterns that have been running for years. You don't need a new personality. You don't need extreme discipline. You need better psychological insight. Your mind is powerful, but it's not always accurate. Learn its patterns, and you stop being controlled by them. And when that happens, your life doesn't change overnight. It changes choice by choice. And those choices, repeated, shape everything. That's how you escape the traps. Not dramatically, but deliberately.